Um, I hope you're doing well. I don't have huge updates for you. So look, we're zoomed in to the chart here. I know what we talked about the last couple days was these sections here and where we can maybe guess where we are, right? Are we down here potentially at the start phase where we really go up, or are we down here somewhere where we have a lot of downside ahead of us? More accurately, here or here is where I think we are. Not so much here because we're not touching this 200-week moving average. Though I am, and the 200-week moving average doesn't extend back because it's 4 years, and there isn't enough data to present it. But you can imagine it goes something like this. And probably it comes down. Uh, but you get, I don't think we have upside coming up, right? I don't think we have upside coming up. I think we have downside coming up. I believe we're in a place like this, or we're in a place like this, and we're going to see a somewhat of a dump before we go up again eventually. I mean, most certainly, I think in the long term we're going to go up. I don't think we're going to go down, but you know, I'm not exactly. I would say though, I am holding my breath, waiting for this to happen. The reason is it's quite the opportunity. If we can get this to occur, it'd be quite get this. If this occurs, it'd be quite the opportunity. Because if you can buy down at the 200-week moving average, you have the deal of a. It's the best deal you can possibly get, right? If because it does the price of Bitcoin doesn't go to the 200-week very often, right? When it was here, this was the deal of a lifetime essentially. This actually went down to the 300-week moving average, which is down here. Uh, but if you were able to purchase here, boy, did you get a great deal, right? That's it. From let's say the 200 at 5,000 all the way to six. That's a 12x. That's wild. You would have done really, really well. And the same is true down here. You went from 3 all the way to 13. So you had a nice multiple there, 5x roughly. Um, well, what you had to have done is really held it there, right? So this bottom is 5 and this bottom is 3. So you could imagine how great that would have been. Um, but it's possible. It's possible that what we're seeing right now is something like what we saw in 2017, right? We had this big up, and we came back down, and then we had this other peak that wasn't able to make it as high as it should have, and then came back down, and then we had COVID. Now we're coming back up. And we had the first peak, the second peak. Now we're coming back down. We're gonna go touch the red for some reason. I don't know what it's gonna be, and then we're gonna go back up. I'm firmly in, and I don't like to be deterministic, right? I don't want to be deterministic, but I feel like this is where we're headed. Makes me a little bit nervous thinking about it, but that's where it is. If we look at the chart in going down to the micro here, what we see is the 50-week moving average. We're still below it. We're closing. The 100 is below us, not that far below us, and the 200-week is really far below us. To get there, we have to lose half our value, over 50%. What this band here is the bull market support band, and this bull market support band is very interesting. Why I find it interesting is Bitcoin essentially bounces off of this when it's in a bull market. So when you see Bitcoin bounce off of this, you're in a bull market, like you're going, right? You can say that you've entered some kind of bear market when you cross below the bull market support band, which is I find very interesting. If you're not able to keep up above, you should not expect upside, basically, right? Like all this, you could expect that we were gonna go touch. I mean, I can't say for certain if you close below the 200, the bull market support band, that you'll go touch the 200 week, because there's examples here. There are examples all over the place where you don't actually go and touch the 200 week if you close below the bull market support band. But what I can say is if you close below the 50, you happen to do it every time. If you close it below 100, it's almost a certainty, right? I don't know I don't have the probability of us going to the 200 right now, but I would not say it's a non-zero for sure. If we close below the 100, it's definitely above 50. Or, I mean, definitely above 80, maybe? I don't know. It's hard to say. These numbers are very difficult to kind of play with. And seeing that we're at 34 now, it's even easier. And what we're going to see in the next couple days is also, well, this is a 20 week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So next week, very interestingly, we're going to see we're going to see this red line come down even sharper. It's going to come down like this because we're going to start including this data. And this is a 21 week. And so 2 weeks from now, we're going to see this come down. So it's going to really get thin here. And, we're going to see some interesting stuff happen. And this is what's going to allow for this band coming down even sharper, actually. It will come down quite a bit sharper. Let me draw this better. It's going to come down like this, probably. And like, we might have a crossover. And that crossover can be considered bullish, but I don't know if it holds weight right now. You're going to see downward pressure on Bitcoin because as this comes down further, right, you're going to see further downward pressure, and that's it's going to be like this. I think we could. This all being said, nobody knows what's actually happening. Absolutely nobody. So I'm completely hypothesizing. This might actually be the place where you break through and you do a bunch of things and you'll really go up, right? It's entirely possible, but I'm not betting on it. I'm definitely not. I'm not buying this pump here, though I may regret my words in the next couple days. I'm not buying it though, because it's not staying true to my hypotheses that we should close below. And it's not impossible that we break above temporarily and come back down, but I don't want to gamble, right? That would be in my books, it would be gambling to now buy and wait for what happens. It would not be gambling if I'm investing, and that's if we hit this line, wherever it ends up being, that would not be gambling to me. I think this is everything I want to say today. Since it looks like a weird creature, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.